Hi, this is Richard C. I'm a math tutor at Wyzant, answering a question submitted by a student. This has to do with transformations of functions. There are three types of transformations that you need to know. One is called reflections, another is called scale changes, and another is called translations. So this is to cover all of this in one video would be impossible. So I'm going to assume that you at least have heard of these things and you kind of know what they are. And we're just going to walk through how to handle this. So we're going to start with the parent. So the parent here, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so okay, I can live with that. Let me go back. Okay, so the parent is f of x, and that produces an ordered pair x comma y. And we want to work our way down to the child. The child is called m of x. But first we have to do an intermediate step. So we're going to do the reflection first. So the reflection in this case, we're going to reflect about the y-axis. And that means x comma y becomes negative x comma y. You might be wondering, how does he get that? If you think about a point here, say 5 comma 2, and you want to reflect that about the y-axis, it's going to be negative 5 comma 2. That makes sense, doesn't it? So I know because the negative is inside the function, I know this is a reflection over the y-axis. And so this is my next step. And then, because luckily there are only 2 steps here, so it's really not too bad. The next step, the second step, is you want a scale change of 2 on the y. So it's called a vertical stretch. So vertical stretch. So negative x comma y becomes negative x comma 2y. So overall, we want to go from x comma y. Let me just change color here. X comma y is going to go over to negative x comma 2y. And we just apply that. So this is over here. This is x comma y. And what we're going to use over here in green, the transformed function is going to be negative x comma 2y. And then we just apply this. So negative 6 is going to be 6. And then negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. It's that easy. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. 8, right? So basically we change the sign of the x and then double the y. Change the sign of the x, double the y. Sign of x changes, double y. So this becomes negative 2, 8, and then first one, change the sign, negative 4, 0. And that's it. So you can really fly through this thing once you know your rules about reflecting scale change. It's called in school, at least where I tend to tutor, a lot of kids see this mnemonic, which is RST. Oh boy, I'm in the wrong tool there. Hold on a second. RST, and you do the transformations in this order. So you start with f of x, and then you do a reflection if it calls for any, and then you do a scale change if it calls for any, and then you do a translation if it calls for any, and you end up with these mappings from x, y to the last step here. And as I said, this only required two steps: a reflection around the y-axis, which is this, and then a vertical stretch, which just by a factor of 2, which is just doubling y. So that's the way to approach it. I'm sorry I can't go into much depth. The policy here is to just answer the question directly and without trying to give you a full. It would take a long time for me to go through all this stuff in full, but that's the I think the best way to do it, and that's the way it's generally taught. And as far as my tutoring experience is concerned. Okay, so that's it for this topic. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.